So this is an update I didn't plan to do. I just decided to go to MetaMaterial subreddit, and lo and behold, you have all this talk about the MMTLP. So this is the first post I'm going to read here, talking about do not sell it for $20. I'm not a financial advisor, etc. I keep seeing this over and over again. People saying, why would hedgies pay more than $20 if the dividend will be 20? Or MMTLP is a steal for $2 to 19 if the dividend is going to be 20. I've said that myself. I don't see this squeezing past 20. The squeeze has nothing to do with the dividend price. The dividends are like an NFT. They are not replicable. You can't reproduce them. They are not trying to buy MMTLP from us to save on paying you $20. They are doing so because they have to, or else get liquidated. I think the hedgies were waiting and waiting for the dividend to be announced and finally be distributed so they could finally cover the dividends by paying cash out of their pockets. But George knew this, so he kept waiting and didn't sell the oil fields. There will be a time where the banks and brokers are going to tell these hedgies to pay up the preferred shares or get margin called. And I believe the time is now. They have to get their hands on MMTLP or else get margin called. Based on how desperate they seem to get their hands on MMTLP, I don't think they're doing this so they can save on paying $20 per dividend. They are doing this so they don't get liquidated out of existence. So please, get out of the mindset of selling at 20. We have too many people who don't understand this, and we will have a huge sell-off at 20 if everyone keeps thinking this. The situation is basically the same as if GameStop issued an NFT dividend. The hedgies have to buy up all the naked dividends, so if we keep holding, we can name our price. I think we can get way more than 20. I want to hold for life-changing money, but if everyone keeps saying they're selling at 20, or we won't squeeze past 20, we will never get there. So yeah, people agree with that. I'm not sure, to be honest. We have to read all these posts and get a better feel of what the situation is. I think I'll save this one for last. Here's a very radical post talking about MMTLP is a pink OTC market scam. Do not sell your right of dividend. Do not sell your right of dividend away. Do not buy the MMTLP shares thinking this will make you money, because this could vanish like a rug pull. Do your research about the 3 different OTC markets and you will see how fake this is. If you're wanting to call me out, then you have not researched this. They are doing dirty market maker tricks to hope you sell. MetaMaterial can confirm this. Email the IR department if you cannot do your own DD. Whoever's pushing the hype of this is working with hedge funds, and the market makers are encouraging you to sell or just be dumb as this person. It's not pink, it's expert market. Problem is it's listed on OTC markets as pink current. They have an 8K filed on the 8th of October. Apparently, this is a scheme to get investors who are entitled to receive the dividend in the future to sell the right to receive the dividend for severely undervalued. It seems to have been working so far, but the claims that buying MMTLP will not entitle you to receive the dividend seem to be inaccurate. Yes, it seems unfair. People could jump in and buy the right to the dividend, but this appears exactly what is happening now, mostly to the detriment of the holders, especially those who sold or will sell their shares for cheap. Unless they pull the pink sheets off the market and kill the company, this is also possible. I would stay away from MMTLP altogether. Take the $2 loss per share if you bought at $3. This whole thing smells like hedgies in the sewers, grasping for their last breath of air, just my opinion. So I'm not going to upvote or downvote. I'm really not sure, but let's keep reading and see what's going on. There has been no change in the fact that dividends are distributed to owners of placeholders when dividend is distributed, and that unsold assets in December are put in a spin-off company owned by whoever owns placeholders at the time. The only thing that has changed is the placeholders themselves are trading. Wasn't there a date for the dividend though? If that hasn't changed, then what? Nothing has changed when what you refer to as the last part of the title starting at unsold assets in December. Okay. So I think it's worth an investigation to see through your brokerage, did the preferred shares were they renamed to MMTLP? If so, perhaps that's an argument that MMTLP is in fact genuine. It's authentic. 2015 Torchlight 9 billion potential asset valuation when it was 220 million BO reserve before the now discovered 3.7 million reserve. Okay, so people are not sure what he's talking about. The 9 billion is total value of the known extractable assets at the time of the geological assessment. They still have to get it out of the ground, which is not cheap. So they'll sell for much less than this. However, with an almost global squeeze on energy supplies and oil rapidly climbing, I don't think Torchlight asset sales could be timed any better. I've got a feeling we'll be all buying extra large Christmas trees this year. Okay. So I like that they put him in this place there. I'm starting to think the hedgies brought more attention to this than they bargained for. Only time will tell, but I'm beginning to think hedgies may have just screwed themselves by creating this tradable dividend share with MMTLP. It's brought a ton of new eyes and money that are looking to invest in metamaterials. Whether they like what the company has to offer, they just want to pump it up for a squeeze. It really doesn't matter. If the information we got is correct and 666 is the magic number to screw them, I think we may be there very soon. Hold your MMTLP shares. Don't give them an easy way out. They don't deserve your tendies. The shorts only deserve to die a slow death. Have a great week. Agreed. I don't think they realized that we are not the uneducated crowd that they've screwed in the past. Okay, moving on. My 2 cents about MMTLP after reading your theories for 4 days. Let me just end with that maybe. Proof with cited documents as to why these dividend shares being tradable is illegal. Since my other post is being downvoted, I'm making this one to provide some proof. You may or may not have heard of SEC Rule 15C2-11 was introduced in September of 2020. Its sole purpose is to protect retail investors in the OTC markets where MMTLP is currently trading. By the way, this amendment came into effect during the last week of September 2021. What's it about exactly? Securities that trade on the OTC market are primarily owned by retail investors because broker-dealers play an integral role in facilitating access to OTC securities and serve an important gatekeeper function. This role requires broker-dealers to review key basic issuer information before initiating or resuming quotations for the issuer security in the OTC market. So it requires our brokers to get information from the issuer being Meta, before setting a quote for the issuer's security in the OTC market. Clearly, all these brokers are in violation of these rules when they set a price of 10 cents and made them tradable without the permission of Meta. So this is probably when Robinhood halted trading on Friday and will not resume trading anytime soon. All I can say, there will be lawsuits after this. Edit, I'm completely fine waiting for a dividend payout after sale of assets that engage in this crap show. The ones voting you down are those that didn't originally have the dividend. They have some, and they don't want to hear anything negative about it. Let's put on our thinking caps here. It's against the law to trade the ticker without Meta's consent. Almost all major brokerages are trading it. Meta has neither confirmed or denied granting permission or requesting it be traded. George has gone silent on StockTwits and Twitter. I believe the writing is on the wall. George is behind this. My speculation is this will work highly in our favor. The OCC put a memo concerning payment of metamaterials options. It seems clear this is trading legally. We're in for a big surprise. The OCC memo seems to provide legitimacy to MMTLP. It says MMTLP shares paid broker to broker, not CNS, and as the other 95%. Brokers are trading it because a market manipulator decided to bring it on themselves and start trading it in an attempt to allow covering of the special dividend that cannot be covered by any other means. The preferred shares fall under the obligation of the shorts needing to cover or pay due to their contractual agreement when they take out a short position. This is why a crypto divvy causes a major blow to shorts, since they technically can't copy and paste like they do with shares. It could be manipulation and the shares could be trading illegally. Everything at this point is speculation until we get an answer from our CEO. I personally believe George is being silent because it's an indication things are going in his favor. When we were having issues with the QSIP change with the SEC, he tweeted about it. He was mad. If this was not supposed to be happening, I believe he would have spoken up by now. It's been 4 days. That's a good point. But we'll see. I hope the brokers, market makers, hedge funds, anyone involved are held responsible. Okay. So the OTC is Wild West. Again, in Canada, for example, those are taxable. The OTC, there's a lot of risk involved with the OTC. That's why I personally didn't buy any. I thought maybe I should, but I'm kind of on the fence regarding this. MMTLP is a legit preferred share for merger and owned by individuals held in street name. It is the preferred share along with whatever right it contains. Therefore, it can be traded at the discretion of its owners. If you sell, you won't get the dividend when announced. If you buy, you will get the dividend. So what this tells me is the MMTLP being able to be traded is legal since MMTLP was verified with Meta. Okay, I don't know where that is, but anyhow, most likely they didn't authorize the name change to MMTLP, but it was something that had to happen to go on the OTC market. I'm starting to think this was the plan all along, and this will play out like OSTK and OSTKO. Don't sell for $20. That is way too low. This can go astronomical. Also, for everyone complaining about holding through a loss, so you can get through, just get the dividend, get out of here. You now have free shares that can go over $100, 4 times higher than the possible $20 you are going to get from the dividend. If this is what I think it is, then Meta and MMTLP will squeeze at the same time. Also, for anyone who says I didn't hold through that 85% loss is dumb. I put 94,000 all in on literally the worst day you can buy the stock, and I've held since. You don't see me complaining. I'm calling investor relations tomorrow and our transfer agent to see if we can get some official answers. I smell a lawsuit, like the OP was mentioning. So a lot of people are on the fence about this, just as I am. Yeah, it's brought a lot of attention to Meta. So overall, it is good, but we'll see how this plays out. Okay. Some people are saying they don't need Meta's approval to trade it. How do we know Meta isn't behind it? We don't really know until all of the dust settles. So if you're investing thousands of dollars in it, you lose thousands, then that's your fault. But if you gain tenfold, then that's also your fault. That's your gain. That's your reward. Okay, here's one post, and we're going to look at that 2 cents at the last. Read the last sentence before the paragraphs in bold, as well as the bold paragraphs themselves. So this is from October 8, 2021, the OCC, Foundation for Secure Markets. Adjusted metamaterials incorporated MMTA1 options were adjusted on June 23rd and again on June 28th. The deliverable became 50 metamaterials shares and 100 Torchlight Energy Series A preferred shares. The preferred shares were subject to delayed settlement due to their unknown trading status. On October 6, 2021, the Series A preferred shares began trading on the OTC market under the name MetaMaterials and trading symbol MMTLP. Additionally, OCC has been informed that the MMTLP shares are not eligible for CNS settlement. Interesting. Broker to broker settlement. The Series A preferred shares are not eligible for CNS settlement. Consequently, settlement of the MMTLP from June 28 and thereafter will be subject to broker settlement. All delayed settlement obligations related to MMTLP from June 28 through October the 7th will no longer be delayed. It will be subject to broker settlement. Pursuant to OCC law, they determine effective with exercises, settlement of MMTLP will settle on a broker basis. It's pretty much repeating what it just said. Okay, it says here, this determination allows delivering members the opportunity to effect settlement if they have MMTLP Series A preferred shares and they're able to effect delivery but delays the settlement obligation when this is not possible. And determining the delivery of the preferred shares is not possible in respect of a given exercise or assignment. Okay, what is it saying essentially? Buy more, got it. Okay. Well, it sounds a little cautious. Doesn't sound like it's 100% confirmed. It is a divvy market, has always been. The only difference, it was not trading previously, but it was put in such a form by the company mistakenly that if some broker decided to pull the expert market OTC shenanigans that have been pulled, it could become tradable. This is still a divvy marker. Whoever holds it, when the dividends come out, will get the dividend. How if what they bought is synthetic stock and not a shell company registered in Nevada, trading on Canadian OTC that what is even saying? This MMTLP is not a dividend. Some have halted the trading on Friday. This is misdirect shake the tree psychology. Whether or not it's synthetic has no effect. It only applies to the seller. I want a real share, then I would buy a share and make sure they can't create these synthetic shares. I'm sorry you don't grasp the concept, but when you purchase, you don't decide whether you're buying it from a hedge fund that is naked shorting or someone in retail. It doesn't matter if your account is on cash or margin. As a buyer, you're simply marked as having bought the share. And again, there's no difference for owning and trading purposes. My goodness, this is long. So a lot of people are feeling it's a scam. OCC is anticipating the possibility of an FTD. Delivery clearing brokerage can end up having to pay cash to cover as determined by OCC. I think if you're buying it, it could be good. Those selling real shares, too bad for you. You may be missing out on something bigger. Those selling MMTLP shares that don't exist, looks likely you're going to have to cover eventually. If I buy more, will those new shares be eligible for dividend? Yes. You know this how? It's the placeholder for the dividend. The ticker on my 682 Meta shares changed to MMTLP. If you don't want to believe it, no problem. I'm not going to try to convince you. I don't know. The thing that really makes me scratch my head is when they set the date back in, I think, April or May, that there's a deadline to buy these metamaterial shares. You will then have preferred shares, which will give you rights to the dividend. That deadline has to mean something. For this to happen on the OTC market of all places, to just sell the dividend, that people had to show a little bit of loyalty to, and seemed a little sounds a little too good to be true to me. It's saying any shorts on June 28th that were stuck with metamaterials, but also metamaterial A can satisfy the A part. Don't sell your MMTLP shares for single digits. Okay. So there's a lot of speculation. I'm kind of 50-50 about this. There could be a lot of hedge funds posting on this subreddit just to throw people off, whether it is or it is not the actual dividend. I wouldn't risk too much just in case this is fake, but I don't know. Remains to be seen. Time will tell. My 2 cents about MMTLP after reading your theories for 4 days. So this was posted 8 hours ago. I'm seeing varied theories about this. I stress theories. Mine from others is this was done intentionally by Meta. It follows the overstock model, and that's what management was trying to do. This will run crazy high due to speculation. Mainly, the dividend is not defined, so everything is speculation. That is why shorts need this dividend to close their positions, 2 per Meta share actually, because of the reverse split. If they don't close, many risk margin calls. Not all, as some will have the powder to cover margins. I think powder. None of these folks want that. I was reading short interest was 175% pre-merger, and that, if true, is incredibly massive. And possibly insane number. Because of this, the price of the dividend for them to get doesn't matter. They will pay anything to get it. We don't sell till they hit the price we choose. No joke or hype. Any other theory is this was done by some malicious entity, not Meta, but hedge funds or a hacker or Dr. Claw. So basically only the shares that we received from the merger are good for the dividend. If we choose to sell, we can, but no one can buy the dividend. It was not registered to us, only the person who sold. Now, this theory has some holes in it. First being, it wouldn't change a thing for the shorts. It would mean they still have to cover the dividend, and they could not buy the dividend to negate their positions at all either. Secondly, who would do this if it doesn't benefit them? I want to see a smoking gun. There are more out there, but I highlight these two because they address the two main situations. First, we can buy and sell our dividends all we want, and we'll be just fine. Value is based on supply and demand, not actual value. Secondly, we can buy these. We cannot buy these in reality. And even though we spend money, it will turn into nothing once the dividend is delivered. Final conclusion, buy at your own risk. Only sell at a price you want for the dividend. Swing trading this could be very lucrative, but maybe use an account that doesn't have your original dividends in it, or set your share to last in, first out, LIFO. There is a solid chance if you sell your dividends, you cannot get them back. Remember, this is all speculation. Good stuff. I separated my dividend, left my original on Robinhood, but only like 100. I bought XXX on Fidelity. Fingers crossed, demand is high and the price will rise. I have no clue when I'll sell those, but I am not selling at 20. Like many folks are saying, if this is anything like overstock, it'll hit 100. So yeah, there's a lot of speculation back and forth. Is this real? Is this fake? Is this legal? Is this illegal? Is this going to $20? Is it going to $100? Again, I don't want to put all my eggs in this basket of MMTLP and say this is why I came here. Why I believe in metamaterial is because of the preferred shares and the dividend. No, it's much bigger than that. Big picture, metamaterials is going to be one of the biggest companies, not just in America, but possibly the world. To just focus on the dividend and think you're going to get all your profits from that, or you're just in here for this is very short-sighted. This dividend situation is going to take less than a year from now to resolve, but metamaterials as a company itself could go on, for decades and decades, and we could see them really explode into the mainstream and make massive deals, announce massive contracts, and could really be a big player on the world stage in terms of all these different avenues, such as EV, the electric vehicle market, the medical medical areas, when it comes to glucose-wise, in terms of uh, creating parts for chips, because there's a massive shortage in terms of the semiconductors, and just so many other applications besides aerospace defense, aviation, military, security. Just there's just so much. Like it seems like the possibilities are endless. So I'm going to end this video. It seems a little long-winded, but I wanted to get through this because it's important to address the situation. It seems there really is no conclusion whether this is legal, whether this is real. Uh, you know, buyer beware. You enter this at your own hazard, whether you make a lot of money, you lose a lot of money in this MMTLP situation is your choice. Personally, I'm just going to hold on to my metamaterials shares. They are 100% real. And I do have preferred shares as well, but I think this is a risky play. Either way you cut it, you could make money, you could make money, but why risk the chance when you can just buy something that's not on the OTC market, which again is very much like the Wild West. So time will tell what is the actual truth about this. But until next time, I'll see you later at the end of the trading session today. God bless you all. God bless your investments.